Hare Krishna. Hope you're doing well. Let's get started with this regression oriented question where we are given the two lines of regression and we have to find the correlation coefficient between the two associated variables. Okay. Now, important thing to remember that the two lines of regression are given like this, where this is the standard deviation of y, the standard deviation of x, and this is the correlation between x and y. So, in one of the lines, the slope is the correlation coefficient with the ratio of the standard deviation with y first and then x, and in the other line, we have the correlation coefficient multiplied by the ratio of standard deviations where x is first and then y. So if we take the product of the slopes, the product of this and this, we have this where this and this cancel, and the product of the slopes is the square of the correlation coefficient. Now we plug in the values that are available in the question, because the product of the slopes is essentially 8 by 10 times minus 9 by 40. We here scale this by, we take y on the other side and scale this by 10, and here we take x on the other side and scale this by 40. So once we take this product, we notice that it's the square of this thing, which means the magnitude of correlation coefficient is going to be this thing. And that's the magnitude. But what about the sign? The sign is actually going to be positive. Why? Because we know that over here in these lines, when we put y on the other side and x on the other side, in both the situations, we get a positive slope. Now the slope itself is correlation coefficient multiplied by ratio of standard deviations, right? Either this or this. So these things are always positive. So the sign of the slope is dependent on the correlation coefficient, on the sign of the correlation coefficient. Because the sign of the slopes is positive, so the final magnitude of the correlation coefficient should be multiplied by the positive sign. And that's why we have 0.424 as the right answer. That was it. Take care. Hare Krishna.